Alright, welcome back. So today we are on team number 10 of rebuilding every single team. We're a third of the way done. Today is the Charlotte Hornets, who the only thing that comes to mind that they've done this offseason is give LaMelo Ball the bag. I don't even know if they've done anything else. I know Kelly Oubre is still a free agent. I think that was like their big get of the offseason, at least I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, yeah, Brandon Miller. They have the number 2 pick. Anyways, but yeah, so they have LaMelo Ball, they have Brandon Miller. They have Mark Williams, 3 sub 21-year-old guys. They have Kai Jones, who's 22, Nick Smith Jr., who's 19, James Bouknight, who's 22, James Najee, who's 18, and Amari Bailey, who's 19. Really, those guys I plan on keeping around. Terry Rozier's more than likely gone, just because I'd rather get a different starting shooting guard who's younger to build around. 29, he's already in his peak. Gordon Hayward's for sure gone. I don't want to pay Gordon Hayward $30 million this year, and I have no intention of re-signing him, so I'm just going to trade him while I still have him. Cody Martin may or may not stay, depending on how the offseason goes, just because I'm not entirely sure. I do get him a lot in these, and him and his brother's value, I just kind of up in the air. For me personally, if it's worth keeping him or getting rid of him. We'll just see how the trades look, but my first move is definitely going to be to get rid of these 2 guys and try and get the best package for those 2 separately. And then I believe they have a little bit of cap space. They do have cap space to get Christian Wood, so we might go out and get Christian Wood. I know he's 27, he's a little bit older. But yeah, I think the first move is definitely to get rid of Terry Rozier. I think we have some picks we can throw with him. We'll just see how the trades work out, though. Okay, in the trade finder, we can get Anthony Simons, who's 2 overall better, 5 years younger. He's on a pretty similar contract for Terry Rozier, a first and a second. And we can also get Jabari Walker, who I think has some decent value. Hasn't played a game yet, at least in 2K Sim. I couldn't tell you if he played a game in real life. But I think that's good value for a second. I mean, Terry Rozier in first for Anthony Simons seems pretty fair, and then Jabari Walker for a second. He was a second-round pick. Makes sense, so we'll go ahead and do this trade for a new starting shooting guard. And so our backcourt, LaMelo Ball and Anthony Simons, and then Brandon Miller as our 3. I like that as kind of our big 3 moving forward. And then we're going to go ahead and flip Gordon Hayward as well. Okay, so I'm trying to make a trade to get Kyle Kuzma. I'm kind of lowballing him right now. I'd be very surprised if they take this. If I throw in a second here, can we get it done? Another second. Another second. All right. The other guy I was looking at was John Collins, just because he's also on the younger side. Financially, it already makes sense. And then same thing, I am willing to throw in James Bouknight, and they just do it like that. I did try it earlier with some picks. They didn't want picks. So James Bouknight, it is what it is. I believe he was like our 3rd string. He would have been our backup shooting guard, but I think we can still get a similar age, similar player as a backup shooting guard. But now John Collins is here for 2 years. No guarantees he stays, but I would rather have Kai Jones be my backup versus my starter because he can still get reps, still get potential. Jabari Walker, I might move to the 3 just because he's 6'7". And then the center position, I am looking to get Christian Wood, and then we'll figure out a plan from there. But I'm, like I said, going to move Jabari Walker to the 3. We're going to go in and get Christian Wood real quick with this $13 million we have in cap space. PJ Washington can go, Nick Richards can go, Bryce McGowan can go, and Theo Maledon can go. I'll keep Kelly Oubre's cap hold around. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to do anything. The other guy I can think of to go get is potentially, I think they did do this already. Oh, he's down to a 75. I believe they went and got him IRL, so I will bring him back. Yeah, I mean, he'll sign right away. And Christian Wood is going to go somewhere else. He's going to go to the Mavs. Whatever. He didn't go to the Mavs. I'll send him another offer. I mean, if it's going to let me send him another offer, I'll definitely send him another offer. And there it is. He flipped to sign with us, so that's a big pickup for us. Looking at the roster, really backup point guard. We'll see how it looks after after player progression. Same thing with the backup shooting guard position. Small forward, I think we're looking good. I'll keep Cody Martin around. At least for this offseason, and then we'll figure out here who we'll keep around. I didn't know Miles Bridges was down to a 75. It doesn't surprise me because we haven't seen from him in a while, but I mean, he's coming off 20 points a game. We'll see how progression does for him, and then center, I think we're also looking pretty good, so we'll just go into player progression, see how that treats us. LaMelo Ball goes up 3 to a 90, or it goes up 6 to a 93. John Collins goes up 3 to an 84. Anthony Simons is up 1 to an 84. Mark Williams is up 1 to a 78. Miles Bridges is up to a 77. Kai Jones is up to a 75. And Jabari Walker's up 3 to a 74. So pretty solid. We got nothing from Christian Wood, which whatever. Not that big of a deal. Nothing from Cody Martin, same thing. And then Nick Smith is a rookie. Yeah, he's a rookie. I was going to say we didn't get anything from him. And then these two were also rookies. So, I mean, all our rookies obviously didn't progress. I just kind of forgot they were rookies. So we'll go into the next season, see what they want to do rotation-wise. All right, so I put Jabari Walker into the G League just to give him some more opportunities. I know he's on an expiring contract, at least according to 2K. I do have a team option, which I will pick up regardless. But looking at this team, obviously LaMelo, Anthony, Brandon Miller, John Collins, Christian Wood are going to be our starters. They have Mark Williams at a 6-man, which I don't hate at all. Cody Martin, 21 minutes. Miles Bridges, 17 minutes. Kai Jones, 14. Nick Smith getting 11. And then James Najee getting 8. I honestly don't hate that rotation. We'll see how the season goes. He might get pulled from the rotation. Let's go 10-man. But we'll start with an 11-man. I don't really expect to win this year. I expect to be a competitive playoff team, but not anything beyond that. So, all right, at the trade deadline, 33 and 22 were the 5th seed. This little like 7-game win streak saved us from being completely mid. I mean, we were like 500 the whole season. So we are the 5 seed. I'm going to look to make some trades, or at least not necessarily make trades, but look to see if there's any like big sellers that we can go get a player from. Lauri Markkanen is nowhere to be found. Does that mean he's hurt? Yeah, he's hurt, so we can't even trade for him. I was going to say that's a big guy to go trade for. We don't need anybody from... We could see what we get for Sabonis, potentially. John Collins and 3 firsts for Sabonis is not enough. But I'm going to do trades like that, just see if I can get something to go through. Okay, I was looking at getting Nick Claxton here. I just threw in Cody Martin just to see. They gave me this counter offer, which I don't hate. Cam Johnson's a better Cody Martin. Nick Claxton's a slightly better Christian Wood. Won't need as many shots, which I'm not necessarily against. And he's much younger. The only thing is we will have to go get him back in free agency. I believe he's on the last year of his deal. Should have his restricted rights. If not, I still think we can go get him. And all we're giving up is a first. We will have to go recoup some picks in the offseason, but I'm willing to make that trade. I think that makes us better. I did see Chris Paul's on the team now. That definitely makes our bench better. I think I'll make it a 10-man rotation. I'll just see. Kai Jones is hurt. I did not even know that. But yeah, we'll go 10-man rotation. I mean, James Najee's not necessarily adding that much. I'm going to go back in, see if I can get something better than John Collins. Potentially, I doubt it, but I'll look back in the market, see what we got. Yeah, looking around the league, there's no 3s or 4s on selling teams that I'm willing to go out and get. Jeremy Grant, not really, and I have no need for Damian Lillard. Don't really feel like trying to trade him if I somehow get him. So the one trade that we did make, it makes our bench better, it makes our starting lineup better. So we'll just get into simming. I did, like I said, shorten it to a 10-man rotation, and then we'll throw Kai Jones back into the mix. He's done for 8 to 10 weeks, so that's pretty close to the rest of the season, so I'll throw him in come playoff time. All right, Jason Tatum, MVP, Wemby, Rookie of the Year, Tyler Hero, 6-man of the Year, Giannis, DPOY, Bones Highland, Most Improved, and Joe Mazzulla, Coach of the Year. We finished with like 45 wins, something like that. LaMelo Ball, All-NBA First Team. Pretty solid stat line for him. And then outside of that, we do not have... We have LaMelo on the All-Defensive First Team as well. I did not expect to see that. And then Brandon Miller on the All-Rookie First Team. So pretty good award-wise. I believe we're a play-in team. Yeah, we're the 7 seed. Yeah, like I said at the break, we weren't the 5 seed. We were pretty much 6, 7, 8 seed the whole season. Yeah, I mean, this is a super competitive East, though. We just happen to be a couple games out of, like, that picture between... You see pretty much 2 through 6 is 6 games apart. So we were just outside of that super competitive group. Taking a look at the player stats, Melo averaged 23, 6 and 10, like you saw. Anthony Simons put up 19 a game. Numbers were a little down from his time in Portland, it looked like. Brandon Miller had a pretty solid rookie season. Runner-up for Rookie of the Year. Cam Johnson came in halfway through the year, put up solid numbers. John Collins put up solid numbers. And then take a look at the rest of the guys here. but I believe we're healthy for the most part. Yeah, we're completely back to healthy. So we are going to run this 10-man rotation. We're going to be playing Atlanta, who I didn't see make any big trades. That looks like just the Hawks starting lineup. We'll go ahead and simcast this through real quick. Not entirely worried about this season. It looks like this is going to be a pretty easy win. So we will be the 7 seed going into the playoffs, playing the Knicks. Even the Knicks, we're 9 games back from them, so it's not like they're a crazy team. I believe Team Intel said they were rebuilding as somebody got hurt. Who was it? Miles Bridges, out 1 to 2 weeks. That does sting a little bit. They picked up Dante. No, Dante's already on the Knicks, or he signed this offseason. So that is the Knicks lineup going into next year. We take game 1. They take game 2. We take game 3. They take game 4, they take game 5, and they take game 6. Good little battle for year 1. Progression's going to be really kind to this team. It's really just get everybody back. Might look to trade for an upgrade for John Collins, though, as the Celtics win the championship. So we have the very last pick of the draft. Not too worried about who we pick up there. And outside of that, Melo, I need to give a bag. He's supposed to have a contract in 2K. Clearly didn't happen. John Collins probably is going to get moved, but once it's the next season, just because progression, I want to get more value out of him. And then Nick Claxton has to come back. This is a pretty big offseason to bring a lot of guys back. But really, it's just progression. We'll see what the computer signed here. Nobody crazy in the draft, and we get a 73 overall, who I'll bring in. No reason not to bring him in. We're going to accept everybody like usual. We're going to give LaMelo his qualifying offer. And then we're going to go out. He has so many contract offers, it doesn't really matter. We're going to go get Nick Claxton, who's not interested. That stings, because he was a major pick, and we did give up a lot to go get him. That stings. Okay. I don't even know, is there a way around this? I did find a workaround. So I'm just going to throw the bag at him, like overpay a little bit, just because I know we have LaMelo who's restricted, and then I can't really think of anybody else that like necessarily is a big deal. At least that we have to go into our like actual salary cap to go get. I'm just gonna go see real quick. Yeah, those are the only 2 that we have bird rights on. LaMelo wants to go to the Magic. That is not happening. Yeah, those are our 2 big free agents. We're gonna go ahead and get both those guys back here. What does that leave us for cap space? A whole lot of nothing. There are still some value players in free agency. I'm looking at THT is a pretty value guy. DeAnthony Melton, he's 26. I might go get him just for the better potential. Tyus Jones, I would like to be my backup point guard moving forward. And then outside of that, I mean, we are going to have to trade some guys before we get into the next year. Ernst Neesmith is interesting just because I'm also thinking, who can I trade to get a first-round pick back for, which helps us in the long run. Hopefully, whoever that Brandon Boston Jr. signs. But looking at player progression, Big 3 gets better. Mark Williams gets better. Miles Bridges gets better. A couple of the guys down here get better as well. So all in all, pretty solid progression-wise. Brandon Miller doesn't get any better, which makes me a little nervous for his potential. But I'm still willing to make him my starting point guard moving forward. I believe I have to sim to here to make some trades. So we're going to make some trades, get down to a 15-man rotation. If I do anything too crazy, you guys will see it, but I'll probably just be trading some of those guys I picked up for some first-round picks. Yeah, little trades like this, just to get back underneath 15 players, like Josh Hart for 2 first-round picks. More than happy to do that. And then I believe a power forward also has to go, like Aaron Neesmith. Appreciate your like 14 minutes on this team, but you're gonna get me a first, it looks like. This guy was the very last pick of the draft, and 2 weeks later gets me a first and a second. So there's 2K logic for you. So rotation for year 2, starting lineup is the same as it was in the playoffs. Cam Johnson's now our 6th man, Mark Williams 7th man, and then the rest of our rotation. Some of these younger guys aren't getting minutes, which is a little disheartening to see. I might try and flip John Collins now, just to see what the market is for him. And the market is not all that, but I believe with all the first round picks I got, I could flip them into something. I'll just see who I can get who's potentially on a selling team. Looking at Jaren Jackson Jr., they weren't selling, but I believe the contracts make sense. And I mean, what was that, 4 first round picks? Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to take way less shots, Much better defender than John Collins. Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 first-round picks, and John Collins does the trick. Doesn't help the depth-wise, which that's not what that trade is for, but makes us much better. And honestly, I think a better defensive team as well. But yeah, I mean, as much defense as I can get down low surrounding these two scorers, we should be fine. And then hopefully Brandon Miller gets better as the season goes on. And then I might make a trade just to make this bench just a little bit better before we get into simming. Sadiq Bey for Miles Bridges in a first. They're not going to do it. I'll throw in a second, see if that's enough. Throw in another second, see if that's enough. I really don't want to give up 2 first-round picks in this trade. 3 seconds, 1 first, and Cal Bridges for Sadiq Bey. I'm liking that. Beefs up that backup power forward position just a little bit. Brandon Boston Jr., 76. I would live with that as my 10th man. I don't think that'll hurt us long term, but having 380s, a 79, a 76 coming off the bench, I think it's pretty solid, especially when you have a 95 and 88 as your top 2 players. And then we'll just get into simming. All right, at the trade deadline here, 3rd seed, 41 and 14, been the 2nd seed almost all season. Yeah, I mean, we must have just slipped. We lost 2 games straight to the Knicks. So, I mean, that's literally the reason why we're not the 2nd seed. Mark Williams can't stay healthy at all. He just got back from an injury. It was like 6 to 8 weeks, but like his games played is just ridiculous. I mean, he played 62 games last season. He's played 29. The team has played 55. So I'm going to flip him, see if I can get a team that is selling, get their, center, whether he's starting or backup. Might hit the Pistons up for another of their young players here. Just see if contractually it even makes sense. It does. If I throw in this first, you guys do it. Do I throw in a second? You guys do it. Throw in another second. They do it for a first and 2 seconds. Jalen Duren, I do like. I've had him a couple times, I think, as my starting center. They want to start him over Nick Claxton. Not right now. We'll see how the season goes. But I mean, even as my 6th man, love that pickup. I think that's all we need to do. We do still have 1 first-round pick that we can trade. Yeah. Don't really have a need for it right now, so we'll just get into simming. All right, LaMelo Ball MVP, 27 and 10 a night, 2 steals for the kid. We were either the 1st or the 2nd seed. Towards the end of the season, it was just flip-flopping. I couldn't really tell which we finished as. This guy for the Knicks, not the Knicks, the Kings, who was the 3rd seed, wins Rookie of the Year with triple single. Doesn't pass the ball either. Jonathan Kuminga, 6th man of the year. Miles Turner, DPOY. Scoot Henderson, most improved player. Interesting. And then Thibodeau, coach of the year. They finished 2nd in the conference. So I don't know if that means this only click. So I'm assuming this is us. Like I said, we're either the 1 or the 2 seed. 63-19, I would assume, is our record. Melo, obviously, 1st team. And then nobody on any other All-NBA team. The Ball brothers in the defensive 1st team. Jaren Jackson Jr. also on the 1st team, and then we have nobody on the defensive 2nd team, and then I don't think we had any rookies that were even eligible, but yeah, we ended up as the 1 seed. We'll simulate the plan here, but yeah, finished 2 games over. Take a look at the complete team stats. I'm so dumb. Why did I do it like this? There we go, that's what we're looking for. Jalen Duren ended up being our 2nd leading scorer. I don't know what he was putting up before we traded for him. I would assume pretty similar because that was at the trade deadline. He played 83 games this year somehow. Simons was pretty solid. Sadiq Bey was a really solid pickup off the bench. Jaren Jackson Jr. was a really solid pickup. 2.4 blocks a game. Played his role perfectly. We don't need him to score, so I'm not worried about his scoring. And then Brandon Miller's numbers went down. He's up to an 83 though, so pretty solid overall. Claxton he played his role too. He put up 1.5 blocks a game. Rebounded the ball well. It is what it is, but we'll get into this first round against the Hawks. Hawks team, they traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. Outside of that, it's just the same team. Of course, without John Collins like they are this season, so I don't know why I said that. Up 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Okay, we're going to play Boston in the 2nd round here. They've added Malik Beasley. Outside of that, kept the same like core 4 starters. We're up 2-1. I don't want to simcast yet. 3-1, 3-2, 4-2. Okay, we're going to play the Cavs here instead of the Knicks. This is once again, just straight up Cavs. I feel like these teams just don't make trades sometimes, as we're up 2-1, 2-2, down 3-2. I'm willing to simcast that, though, for sure. And hopefully we can... Sadiq Bey is injured. Didn't even tell me that, so thank you, 2K. That would have been nice to know, as this is a tightly contested ball game. And we are going to a year 3. All right. That's unfortunate, but I think it's just a run it back type situation. Okay, so we got our big kind of 3-4-ish locked in. Brandon Miller, I know, is on a team option, so I'm not worried about bringing him back. Same with Jalen Duren. Tyus Jones, I got on a 1-year contract. I'm sure I can get him or someone of his level as a replacement. Same with Brandon Boston. And yeah, I mean, so it's pretty much bring everybody back. I honestly think player progression should be kind to us. Yeah, Gordon Hayward retires on the Nuggets after we sent him to Utah. Picks-wise, I mean, like we saw, pretty much traded away everything. Our picks are pretty much worthless anyways. So we'll just go into rookie signings, see if there's anybody worth like paying attention to, and then we'll just go into player options. All right, 80 goes all the way down to number 6. 80 goes number 3. And 79, number 2. Okay, so this draft class would be pretty solid, but they will just be rookies for what is our last year. We're going to bring back all 3. We'll give everybody qualifying offers just to make life easy. I honestly think that makes Tyus Jones like our highest full-blown free agent. So absolutely no money to work with. Davion Mitchell's restricted, otherwise I'd definitely go get him. Malcolm Brogdon might be worth going and getting. One of the issues, I do need to make sure everybody, all of my guys I can bring back. I'm definitely looking at Malcolm Brogdon for sure. Yeah, I mean, that uses kind of like our mid-level exception. Bring him back. We'd have to lose Kai Jones to sign him. I'm not necessarily against, we don't need any of these trade exceptions anymore. And, I mean, Kai Jones wasn't even the rotation for us, so I'm not entirely worried about that. And then I also need to go get a backup shooting guard. I'm gonna go get Jalen Noel, as well as allow the computer to bring back Brandon Boston. So those will be our 2 pickups for free agency. As yeah, we're holding on to James Najee and Brandon Boston. And outside of that, I mean, I think we're solid. We'll just run it back, see if we have any trades we need to make, look at player progression real quick. And we're starting to regress, but I'm not entirely worried about it. I might flip Claxton for either a better center or just a better player overall. And I want to keep this team because there's a lot of times I blow it up when this team has been so close so many times. I honestly think that, I mean, obviously the first year was kind of, you know, feeling out the roster, see what we can do. The second year, we're 1 game away from the finals. I honestly think this is a team that, you know, I go 4 or 5 years, I could win it 3 times or I don't win ever. So this is a rotation the computer wants me to start with. I do kind of want to look in the direction of trading Nick Claxton for somebody a little bit better. I'm just going to see, is there anybody that is selling already? All right, so looking around the league, nobody's really selling right now. Nobody, you know, the value for Claxton isn't where I want it to be. So I'm just going to keep it how it is. I am going to flip some of these guys that aren't in my rotation right now, just see if I can get a couple picks if I need to make a trade at the trade deadline. But outside of that, I mean, I'm pretty much just going to run with what we got here and get into simulating. All right, pretty early in the season, but no injuries, 10-10. I'm just going to make a move now, especially now that we have picks. I'm definitely going to look to upgrade that starting center position. Hopefully, players and picks is enough. I'm kind of looking at DeAndre Ayton. I did look at him before just for the rebounding and kind of interior defensive standpoint. He's a little bit better of a rebounder, a little bit worse of a defender, but more of a scorer than Nick Claxton. We're getting $9 million more than allowed, which makes things a little bit tougher because now we got to empty out this to make it work. And yeah, I mean, so I don't think it's going to work just because $8 million would solve the problem, but that is Sadiq Bey, who's a pretty important piece to us. So I think I'm going to look in a different direction. Hornets are acquiring $5 million too much now. I don't want to give up somebody worth $5 million. This is where it's tough. This is where it becomes tough to upgrade just because contractually doesn't make sense. And Wemby's going to be way too hard to trade for. We're kind of stuck in a tough spot when it comes to trading for these guys. You know, I really do want to keep Brandon Miller around, but what is the value I can get for those two? The answer is not much. Who would be my starting small forward if I were to trade? Cam Johnson. Not much of an upgrade. I do need to do something, though. I do feel like I need to do something to change up this roster. The value is not there for either of these guys right now, just because, I mean, 84 Robert Williams, but like, is that really making us better? He's just a more expensive Jalen Duren. Interior defense and rebounding, A-, A+, A+, A+. Like, yeah, he's a little bit better. Obviously, that's like the whole point of making the trade. I would want to do this though. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that trade just because then I think I can flip Nick Claxton for somebody better. I just think we need to switch something up. Matter of fact, I'll go do that trade if at the trade deadline we're still kind of in this like middle ground, because this team should not be this bad. Okay, so the fellas figured something out, because we are now 40-16. Pretty solid in that 1 seed. Pretty happy I didn't make any changes. The one thing that, looking at this rotation one more time, as Sadiq Bey is now my starting shooting guard or small forward, because Brandon Miller's hurt. Perfect, whatever. One thing I noticed, Brandon Boston Jr. is my backup shooting guard, which I don't necessarily like. So I might flip him and Jabari Walker just for a slightly better shooting guard. Like I said, I don't want to make massive changes here. Just because I really like how this team came out, and that is not going to work. All right. Those are like 2 tiny contracts, but we are going to go, you know, I'm trying to look for like 81-ish range. There's got to be somebody cheap here, right? Like, you're telling me Grady Dick for Brandon Boston Jr. Okay, so now they don't want to do that. I give you a first, and I give you a second. No, okay, now you don't want to do it. Let's go. Why does Jabari Walker have a no trade clause? So Jabari Walker was only willing to waive his no trade clause if he got sent to those 2 teams. Okay, good to know that he has a no trade clause. So we give up Nick Smith instead and a first. Yeah, I mean, Grady Dick's just a little bit slightly better. 82, that's fine. I mean, he's gonna be a little upset because his role just got way smaller. And then we are gonna go 9-man rotation. I know that kind of takes away some small forward minutes, at least until Brandon Miller gets back. But I think that's really the only trade I need to make. I mean, looking at this team, you have all 80s playing. We'll go back to a 10 once Brandon Miller's back. But, I mean, we're rolling for the most part. I would assume he's back. It said day-to-day, so maybe like now. Yeah, he's back. They want to take him off the bench. Let's not be dumb. But, I mean, our whole rotation is 80+. I would think that would be good enough. All right, Melo back-to-back MVP. Let's see. 3rd overall pick, that 80 overall, wins Rookie of the Year, 6th Man of the Year as well. Wemby with the DPOY, Most Improved Player, was the number 2 pick from last year. I would say so. Probably was Julius Randle's backup then last year because he's power forward. And Steve Clifford is our coach, went 64-18. I want to say that's 2 games worse than our record last year. I don't remember for sure. But Melo, 1st team. Anybody 2nd team, 3rd team? No. Ball brothers on the defensive 1st team. Jaren Jackson Jr. also on the defensive 1st team. And then nobody on the 2nd team. So I think, yeah, we were the 1 seed pretty handedly by 13 games. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the stats really quick. And yeah, it was pretty much the LaMelo Ball show, and everybody else, you know, kind of played a role. Jalen Duren, coming off the bench for the most part, has been our 2nd best player for 2 straight years. That's really interesting. Grady Dick's numbers went down since trading for him, but I think that was a good trade. I honestly do. So we're going to play a play-in team that would be Washington. So I would assume they don't have Jordan Poole anymore. They have Domantas Sabonis and Bilal and Kenyon Martin. Okay, I mean, that's very much like a play-in team, I think. When I think play-in team, I think like, okay, but let's not disrespect them then. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Never mind. I was gonna say is when I think playing, I think like 189, and then a bunch of, I should look at this team, bunch of like 80s. Looking at the Pistons here, they have Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham. Thompson brother didn't really do anything. Nobody from this draft class really did anything so far outside of Wemby, or like none of them progressed. I think Brandon Miller came in the league as an 81, and now he's like an 82. Rematch with the Cavs. Who's hurt? Jalen Duren. That's actually pretty big. I won't lie. We don't need Randall getting minutes, so we'll go to a 9-man rotation. And then this Cavs team added OG Anunoby. Did they get rid of Donovan Mitchell then? Or is Donovan Mitchell hurt? Because if he's their 6th man, we could have some issues. Looks like they do not have Donovan Mitchell anymore. OG Anunoby's still a very good pickup for them as they take game 1 and game 2. And I would assume we lose. Oh, okay. Willing Simcast. We need to have a little bit of confidence. We do a 3-1 here. Or 3-0, I guess. I guess this would be a 3-0. Come back here. It looks like we have... I was going to say we have control of this game. Not anymore. Okay, we're going to a game 6 here. We have to go win at their place, though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we do have the game 7 is home, so we just need to steal this one. Back and forth game. This is a very good series. Not gonna lie. Okay, that might be wraps, low-key. This might be wraps. Hold on. Do I take this shot if we have the ball? I haven't touched the game in forever. We don't even have the ball. All right then, 2K. This could be wraps, but I mean, I'm willing to watch. And let me move my stuff real quick. There we go. Okay. So 7 seconds left. Obviously need a foul. I would hope the game is smart with the foul, and that's way too loud. Melo might have just fouled out there. Would that say he had 6? Okay, so we do need misses here. Even have a chance. It kind of makes me mad we didn't have the ball. But even miss. We have an opportunity. 6.5 seconds left. 4-point game. Kind of needed him to miss the first as well, but any miss is, you know, helpful. Hopefully this game's not dumb and takes like some stupid layup. Like, please shoot that. All right, well, there it is, 5-5. This is a team that, like I said, they either go and we win the next 3, or we don't ever win. Like, it is what it is. I don't know if I make any different trades and it ends up any different. But yeah, I don't even know who the next team is. I do need to kind of get out of this so I know who's next. Can I leave? I don't want to watch this. All right, back-to-back MVP plays, you know, insane in just last game of the sim at least. 36-10. Brandon Miller, 17-14. You can't be mad at it. You really can't. It is what it is. So that's one that, you know, I re-sim these last 2 seasons a couple different times. We probably win both times, and you know, not mad about it. It is what it is. Our next team is the Jazz, which we could go other L, or that could be super easy. I really don't know. But so we're back to 5-5. I just can't get above 500. I really thought I was gonna get this one. For whatever reason, I was more confident in this one. I was pretty confident in the Grizzlies one too, but I was like more mad after the Grizzlies one. It is what it is. Like, they made a good trade. We made some good trades. But yeah, Melo's kind of him. That's pretty much it. So yeah, other than that, I'm out. Peace.